Welcome back to Finding New Films. It is episode 12. We have a healthy David.
Yes, I can speak now, finally.
He can speak. How was your week off, man?
It was great. We got to spend time, wife and kids. Got to heal up. I had like 4 itises at once. I had laryngitis, conjunctivitis, bronchitis, and just like headache-itis. It was pretty shit.
That sounds
I'm better now.
Pretty shit.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
No more pink eye. No more not having a voice. Yeah.
Well, that sounds a lot better than not having any of that.
True.
So, segue. You know what didn't suck?
The movie.
This movie.
Yeah.
You picked this movie.
I did.
It was Haine, which is a French movie. It's French voice. If French people made this movie.
Yes.
So it is in French. I read the subtitles because I don't speak French. Why did you pick this movie?
I heard it was just like a classic from like 90s. So I was like, damn, I've seen this movie around, like, mentioned as like one of the best movies. So I was like, gotta give it a watch. And I like French cinema, of course, and I like Vincent Cassel, who's, I feel like that was probably one of his biggest roles starting out. Probably. I don't know his IMDb page, but it was back in the day.
Yeah.
30 years almost.
I really like Vincent Cassel, too. He's a really, really good actor. I liked him in the Ocean's movies. I liked him in the Black Swan movie.
Yeah.
He's really good in that.
Yeah.
So I was really, really interested to watch this movie immediately when you sent it, because I was like, I already like one guy, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. And then it looked like a pretty indie movie. Just like the imagery, like looking at the posters and stuff, and the trailer, it reminded me of like Trainspotting.
Yeah.
Watching the movie, it kind of, again, made me feel like I was watching Trainspotting, and weirdly enough, I'm pretty sure they either came out in the same year or like within a year.
Really?
So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I remember we talking about that. So I haven't seen Trainspotting, but I know of it, like I know the plot somewhat.
Right.
It just seemed pretty
similar. A lot
similar.
less heroin.
Yeah.
A lot more, same hatred of the government style life that these guys are leading, but like a lot less heroin use, and it's not so much about heroin use.
Yeah, definitely.
But, in style, this movie was pretty similar, I think.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I thought this movie was really, really cool. So I'm glad that you
it was a unique experience.
Yeah, I'm glad that you suggested this movie. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I blanked on that. Because I had actually never heard of this movie, like ever.
Really?
Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
So now we will do the rest of the podcast in French.
Yeah. Bonjour tout le monde. That's it. So. Alright, yeah, so we're gonna run through the credits, and then we're gonna go through the plot, because honestly, I need to catch up on myself. I need to catch up on the plot myself. But here we go. Runtime, 98 minutes. This movie was written and directed by Matthew Kassovitz. The score was done by Assassin.
Just Assassin.
Yeah, just Assassin.
He murdered the beat, though. He murdered that score.
In cold blood,
yeah.
Man. That was... Yeah. So, camera done by Pierre Haine. Stars of the movie were Vincent Cassel, Hubert Koundé, Saïd Toukmai, Tugmawi, sorry. Abdel Ahmed Ghali. This guy's name credited is Solo. And then Joseph Momo, Eloise Rote, Rivka Wiesbro, and Olga Abrego. Excuse me. Plot is as follows. Okay. Haine opens with a montage of news footage of urban riots of a banlieue in the commune of Chanteloup-les-Vignes near Paris. A local man, Abdel Ichaha, is in intensive care, having been gravely injured in police custody. In ensuing riots, the local police station is besieged, and a police officer loses his revolver. The film depicts approximately 20 consecutive hours in the lives of three friends of Abdel, all young men from immigrant families, in the aftermath of the riot. Vince is a young Jewish man with an aggressive temperament who wishes to avenge Abdel, has a blanket of condemnation of all police officers, and secretly reenacts Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver in the bathroom mirror. Hubert is an Afro-French boxer and small-time drug dealer who yearns to leave the banlieue for a better life and refuses to provoke the police, but whose boxing gymnasium was burned down in the riots. Saeed is a young North African Muslim who plays a mediating role between Vince and Hubert. The three go through an aimless daily routine, frequently finding themselves under police scrutiny after the police break up a rooftop gathering, and the three sit idly on a playground. Vince reveals that he has found the .44 Magnum revolver lost in the riot and plans to use it to kill the police officer if Abdel dies. Although Hubert disapproves, Vince secretly takes the gun with him. The three go to see Abdel in the hospital, but are turned away by police. Saeed is arrested and their aggressive refusal to leave. Saeed is arrested after their aggressive refusal to leave. He is later released with the help of a familiar police officer. Following a disagreement between Vince and Hubert about their perspectives on policing and violence, the two men part ways. Saeed accompanies Vince while Hubert briefly returns to his home. They reunite at another gathering in the banlieue, but the situation quickly turns chaotic when Abdel's brother attempts to kill a police officer in revenge. A confrontation with the police ensues, and the group narrowly escapes after Vince nearly shoots a riot officer. They take a train to Paris, where their responses to both benign and malicious Parisians cause several situations to escalate to dangerous hostility. In a public restroom, a Gulag survivor tells them of a friend who refused to relieve himself in public near their transport train and subsequently froze to death after failing to reboard in time, and the trio are puzzled as to the meaning of the story. Then they go to see Snoopy, an avid cocaine user who owes money to Saeed, leading to a violent confrontation as he appears to try to force Vince to play Russian roulette. The gun is secretly unloaded. They have a run-in with the sadistic plainclothes police who arrest Saeed and Hubert while Vince flees. The police verbally and physically abuse the duo and lock them up until late at night, which results in the three missing the last train from Saint-Lazare station and spending the night on the streets. After being kicked out of an art gallery and unsuccessfully trying to hotwire a car, the trio stay in the shopping mall and learn from a news broadcast that Abdel is dead. They travel to a rooftop from which they insult skinheads and policemen before encountering the same groups of skinheads who begin to beat Saeed and Hubert savagely. Vince breaks up the fight at gunpoint and captures one of the skinheads. His plan to execute him is thwarted by his reluctance to go through with the deed, and cleverly goaded by Hubert, he is forced to confront the fact that his heartless gangster pose does not reflect his true nature. Vince lets the skinhead free. Early in the morning, the trio return home, and Vince turns the gun over to Hubert. Vince and Saeed encounter a plainclothes officer whom Vince had insulted earlier, whilst whilst with his friends on a
Did you write
local.
whilst?
No, I didn't write this, but earlier, whilst with his friends on a local rooftop, the officer grabs and threatens Benz, taunting him with a loaded gun held to his head. Hubert rushes to their aid, but the officer's gun accidentally goes off, killing Benz. As Hubert and the police officer point their guns at each other and Saeed closes his eyes, a single gunshot is heard with no indication of who fired and who may have been shot. This standoff is underlined by a voiceover of Hubert's slightly modified opening lines about "it's a society in free fall," underlying the fact that, as the lines say, "Jusqu'ici tout va bien." All seems to be going relatively well, which means so far so good, by the way. All seems to be going relatively well until Vince is killed, and from there no one knows what will happen. A microcosm of French society's descent through hostility into pointless violence. So, that was Haine. Right off the bat.
Yes.
What was your impression of this movie going into it? What did you think
before I watched it? Yeah. I didn't think it was going to be so stylized. I thought it was going to be a little more action oriented. Because I didn't even see the trailer going in, so I had no expectation. I thought it was going to be a little more action. Different style than it was. What about you?
It's for me. I watched the trailer, so I guess I had a kind of a more. It was a good '90s trailer though, because I feel like trailers now just kind of tell you what the movie is, and this trailer didn't tell me at all what this movie was. It was like, here's some scenes, here's some little pieces of the movie, and you can watch it if it looks cool. And it was fine. I thought it portrayed the movie good. So, I guess, I don't know. Going into it, I thought it would be more upbeat. It was very chill for how heavy the subject matter was. And that's one thing that kind of shocked me about it. But
yeah, no, definitely me too.
But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was cool. But getting into the thoughts now. The movie started with the quote, "It's not how you fall, it's how you land," and then you see a Molotov cocktail in a car. That was, I thought that was a great tone setter.
Yeah, definitely. And the, protest footage in the beginning, it was just, it really set the tone for, chaos and anger.
Yeah.
And it was, fairly ambiguous, points or, morals, I guess, beginning.
Telling you, the heart of the movie.
Yeah.
As you're going in. Kind of similar to our last movie that we did with Apocalypse Now, with just seeing all the napalm. Kind of tells you, the heart of that movie.
Yeah. But yeah, that drew me in.
Yeah, it was really cool.
From the start. Because, what happened? I don't know. It just... I felt like it set up to, where you're expecting it to be, I guess... more upbeat than it was, and then it just starts, and it's just you feel like you're in the lives of these hoodlums.
Yeah, you're just kind of sitting there with them in their room. You definitely feel that way, and the way they do the tracking scenes with the cinematography, you're kind of just following them around. Yeah, kind of just feel like you're there with them.
The shots are really, really good. Cool. I really like how all the characters were presented. For Vincent's character, they zoomed in on his ring knuckle as he's drilling on the bed.
I thought that ring was really cool.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool.
It was pretty good.
I thought that they did a really good job of distinctly setting up who the characters were and how they were different. That was really good. This movie was written really well. The pacing was really good.
I agree.
It was less than 100 minutes, so
Yeah.
You know, not a crazy length at all, but it still was pretty good, really, really good on its pace. It got to the point where I was in the last scene of the movie. I'm like, what?
Yeah, right. It kind of like, I don't know, it's so well told and immersive that you just kind of forget how long you've been watching it. Because you're just like a day in the life.
I have a note in here that says "un vache," talking about the cow.
Oh yeah. the
He just pans over and he just sees a cow and he's like, "Un vache."
Oh gosh. Yeah, I didn't know if that was like him going crazy or like that's the actual cow because Saeed didn't like look. So he's like, look, like get down. Oh gosh. It's like I'm not crazy.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. I didn't get the cow metaphor. There's a lot of visual metaphors.
Yeah.
That I did not get the cow one.
No.
We'll get into the story that the soldier told them, but or not the soldier, the
Gulag prisoner.
Yeah, sorry, the prisoner.
Yeah.
But yeah, the cow, I did not understand that metaphor, so that one went over my head. If you understand the cow metaphor from Haine, definitely you can put it in the comments. That would be really cool because I went right over my head.
Yeah.
If it's not a metaphor in there, like I say, I'm pretty sure he did like prescription drugs. I'm pretty sure I saw him like taking prescriptions. So like maybe he was just high.
Yeah.
Because there was points where I was like, Vince is acting weird as hell.
Yeah, it's just so funny how they're like depicted as like, you know, drug abusers or whatever. Like they're getting high, and then like Saeed and Vincent's character. What I keep forgetting his name.
Vince, Saeed, and then
Vince.
Hubert.
Oh yeah. Like Vince and Saeed. Well, Saeed comes in his apartment and like they're like arguing and whatever, and then they like go in the kitchen and they have the mom or like the grandma.
Yeah.
And they're just like yelling basically, and just like being like I would get my ass beat probably if I talked like that in front of like an elderly figure.
Yeah. They're just airing out their dirty laundry like all in the middle of and being really animated about it.
Yeah.
And like I'm pretty sure wasn't she like hard of hearing and that's why they were doing it because she couldn't hear it or
I don't know, maybe.
I guess I thought
I forget.
I don't remember now, but I could be wrong about that. I don't remember. But I want to shout out Saeed for having an Owen Hart poster. That was pretty cool. Love him.
Who's Owen Hart?
Good wrestler.
Oh, he's a wrestler?
Yeah. Wrestling was really, really popular from like 1995 to like 2002. It was super popular.
Did the movie tell you how old they were? Were they like
I think
out
they
of high
were.
school?
I think they were in their like early 20s. I think that was what the movie was trying to do. But what did Saeed threatened Vince's sister with like brutally murdering her, and then caved when she started calling for her grandma. I love that. Yeah. Saeed was like, I'm gonna like kill you.
Yeah.
And like, I'll like hang you from the rafters or some shit.
Yeah.
It was brutal. It's not. I'm butchering it, but like he was gonna say to her, but he basically threatens her and says he's gonna brutally murder her, and then she's like, grandma, and he's like, okay, shut up. Whatever.
Yeah. That's so funny as Saeed would say out of everyone, because like he seemed like he was the most kind of down to earth person.
Yeah.
Like you said, he was the mediator between like Hubert and Vince's personality.
Right.
It was just funny to see like his place. He didn't look like he belonged in any of the scenes. He was just kind of like the funny dude.
Yeah.
Who was just trying to like, I don't know, be with the tough guys.
I think like the if you were to put the three characters in like one of those personality graphs, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Hubert would be lawful bad,
Yeah.
and
Vince
Vince
like
would be
anarchist.
chaotic bad,
Yeah.
and then
Definitely.
Saeed would just be bad, but he'd be like right in the middle of both.
Yeah.
That would be a perfect explanation for all three of these characters.
Yeah. I agree. Speaking of Hubert,
yeah,
when like you met him and on screen, like, and he's like my gym is destroyed. Like,
yeah.
that's so crazy. This man is trying to make it for himself.
Yeah.
In like this, his impoverished upbringing.
I would say that he wasn't. I mean, I would infer rather that he may not have been the lawful bad until the gym was
true
was put out.
Yeah.
Because he was just like, whoa, fucking hell, man! Like,
yeah.
This is he just got kind of beat down, I guess, if that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he was putting his life on the right track. I mean, he obviously had a fight scheduled.
Yeah.
So obviously he's gonna cancel that fight exam in order to train. You
True.
know, and so, you know, when we watch fighting, we know how much it means to like fighters get paid and stuff. It's like they'll go into their post-fight speech and be like, I needed this money, and so that's rough. But yeah, so maybe he wasn't on the path of being lawful bad, and then by the time the gym is down, he's lawful bad, and then by the time he sees his friend get murdered by police accidentally, you know, so to speak, you know, which it probably was an accident, but just the arrogance that the cops showed made him go from lawful bad to you know, maybe it's just like a single moment of you know unclarity, but
that was one thing that was confusing me in the movie because like they showed cops in uniforms, but a lot of times the cops were like in normal clothes.
Yeah,
and I kind of like that as a metaphor. It's just like they're just like the gangsters that live like Vince is trying to be, but like they're cops. So just because
it's also historically accurate. They didn't ban like plainclothes cops in France until like the 2000s.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That's pretty criminal in my opinion. I don't understand how you can treat your people that way. I mean, we live in the United States of America, so I guess I can conceive it, but it's still bad. It's still very bad, but
yeah, like when they're on the rooftop and they're just cooking the Franks, and then like they just came up. I didn't like. I was like, oh shit, those are cops. They're just in their fucking jackets and beanies on.
Yeah. Those guys. The way the cops are portrayed in this movie is very realistic, and I enjoy it. Just like fucking assholes, man. Just the dirtiest, grimiest people just doing whatever they want to do, feeling like they can, and having the ego to do it. So that unfortunately was a really good, accurate portrayal of police officers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I liked every scene. It was just constant tension between all the characters. Police, where they're just like
because you know all the police were they're all wild cards.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but we had the second appearance of you talking to me on Finding New Films.
You talking to me?
Yeah, the first film we did was Taxi Driver.
Oh, yeah.
It's the birth of that. So it was cool to see that pop back up. Yeah, it was Venz doing it.
Yeah.
In this movie, which was pretty.
Yeah,
that's on the spot.
Such a great scene. It set the mood for his character early on because it's like he's like super angsty and violent and angry. He has Len ran in him.
He's got loner tendencies, like
Yeah.
Robert De Niro's character did in that movie.
Yeah.
If you look up to that character, you're a weirdo. Like that's the
Yeah.
you know, that's what that character was made for. You know, if you look up to this guy, like that's how you can certify that you're a weirdo.
Yeah.
It's a good character. I like the character, but if you idolize Travis Bickle,
Yeah.
you're straight up a weirdo.
Yeah. No, definitely.
So, Vince is certifiable weirdo in that case.
He is, yeah.
But yeah.
Who's your favorite character out of the three?
From just a pure substance standpoint, I think they did Vince's character a lot of justice.
Yeah.
From just giving him like a lot of different aspects to his character.
Yeah, true. And he had like a pretty big character arc.
Yeah.
At the very end.
I think the whole movie was basically driven by his actions. So
Yeah.
I think it's pretty easy for that to be.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, he's just the most dynamic character. But
true.
What were you gonna say?
I would say I like Hubert the most, just because like, he was just so like level head the whole time. Like it's almost sad to watch his development from the start, because he was like at his own gym, like trying to start his business, and then like the whole protest and stuff, just like he was caught in the middle of it, and his place was a victim to it, and they somehow fit a burning car through the doors, and we don't know how they fit because the doors they can't fit through these doors. And then it's just like, you know, Vince and Saeed are on their normal bullshit, and he's just like, I don't know, like more receptive to it now, where he was kind of like, you know what I mean? He kind of seemed like a little like, like what are we doing? Like, I'm not with this shit. Whenever like Vince would say some crazy shit or try to do some crazy shit, like as the movie went on, he slowly like reeled back in with his friends, and it's just like, I don't know. It's sad because that environment, or like, you know, like they're living in such a poor area. It's just like you don't have many good influences.
Right.
And when he was at his mom's, like he just like dawned, he was like, Mama, I had to get out of here. Like this isn't good for me. I was like, damn, like that's so sad. Like you can't like reach up and escape from the well almost.
Yeah. Thing that was gonna be the thing that got him out was the thing that, you know, he ultimately couldn't get anymore because it was taken away from him.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Yeah, really sad. We're gonna carry that sadness on the break, and we're gonna talk about it more when we get back. But stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's part 2 of the Finding New Films, episode 12, where we are talking about Haine, the French crime drama. When we left off, David was making a point about how Hubert was feeling trapped by his situation, and the way that he thought he was going to get out was, you know, taken away from him throughout the riots, and he had no control over it. I just wanted to make a point off of it that he also, over the course of the movie, you can see his, from what David said, you can see like where normally he would maybe vandalize something or be quick to be on to doing a little bit of, you know, tiny crime.
Yeah,
he's now like recoiling at that, being like, that's someone's thing, because now his thing is destroyed and he has nothing, and so he can relate now, and he's basically, that was what I was trying to get to, so I'm glad I could riff off of that. This whole movie is basically about circumstance. It's about perspective and circumstance. I mean, I guess it is like slices of life. So I mean,
Yeah.
you're just seeing 20 hours of these people's lives, but
Yeah.
it is all about circumstance, and the circumstances are not in these guys' favor, and
Yeah.
it shows that when society is against you, it makes it much harder for you to be able to succeed. Even if you are an exceptional person, you do have like a genuine knowledge or like a genius quality about you,
Yeah.
or you're a good fighter, or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter if the circumstances are stacked against you. It's still going to be a rough go.
Yeah, I know. And that quote in the beginning, it's like it's not about how you fall, it's like how you land,
Yeah.
basically. It's like you can mess up a lot, but at the end of the day, you want to stand up on your feet. And yeah, that was there were lots of other scenes that kind of piggybacked, or like, had that same metaphoric reasoning behind it. Yeah, I don't know. I really want to talk about the Blue Line Prisoner because that shit is so funny. But
yeah,
I mean, is there anything like after? I mean, of course, they're all getting up and join up, and then it's a whole day of them, or 20 hours of them.
Yeah, I want to talk about. Before we get to that, I just want to talk about why do French people like Yo Mama jokes so much?
I don't know, but it's so funny though. They used it a lot. There's like quite a few Yo Mama
was like
jokes.
3 or 4.
Yeah,
it was pretty excessive. I was like, all right, I think you guys may have worn this Yo Mama joke thing out.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. I don't know. I miss the metaphor for that too. Maybe it's supposed to be cringy, and it's supposed to. I don't know.
You gotta be French to get it. I guess France a pioneer of Yo Mama jokes.
Yo Mama sucks bare dick.
Yeah,
is one of them. Vince found the gun. They played the Gap Band. Find me sometime. Da da da. Dun, 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 the song that Tyler eventually used for 911. Tyler, the creator, that is. The sound design in the movie was really good. The cinematography was really good, I thought.
Yeah.
Sound design in the scene where they see the cocaine dealer specifically was really good.
Mm-hmm.
That tension that he was able to build. I thought that was really, really good. But Sasson nailed that. He killed that. Sasson killed that.
Yeah. And then, speaking of music, it's like kind of reverting a little bit, but like we're talking about like the characters and like their, I guess, passions. Like Hubert was boxing. I just remember the scene of Vince like dancing, and it's just so funny because that was like the beginning, towards the beginning, right?
Right.
Where he's just like doing some crazy like hips out and legs. And it's so funny because he's like hard.
Yeah.
But he's like throwing it down, and cool culture moments when they're in like the subway or whatever, and they're all like breakdancing. And I didn't know, watching the movie, but Vince Cassell, he was trained in capoeira as a child.
No.
Yeah, that in Ocean's 11, he has a scene where he's like dancing through lasers or something. He was trained like to be like a circus performer, basically. So I thought like obviously that's in real life. In the movie, I was like, obviously Hubert want to be a boxer and have his own gym. It's like, damn, like if Vince had all the cards he could have in life, like all the lemons, like maybe he want to be a dancer. And it's just again sad. I just thought of that. It's like he's brought back into this gang life or like gangster mentality because he's angry.
Yeah, he's developing an ego because his anger is like getting the best of him, and he feels like there's no way out. And again, it comes back to circumstance, but that's like the driving force of the movie. So
circumstance, yeah. hella good circumstance when he got that gun out. That shit
Yeah.
shook me.
That's a circumstance.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a circumstance. Yeah. Fucking, he sees the cow again. Still don't get it.
Yeah.
I like yeah, I actually have that in my notes right here. I like the story of conflict that they show in Hubert that he feels inside. I think he did a lot of good acting with it, just like his facial expression too.
Yeah, he did.
Just showing like, damn, I really don't want to be a part of this at all.
Yeah.
This is like super nerve wracking for me. And then yeah, now I'm at the Grunwalski story, so I guess we can get into that. Now, I believe that story is about Vince. Like, I believe the story is told because they're arguing about. Vince reveals to them like, "Oh, I had the peace the whole time you were in the hospital. I could have pulled that shit on them if I wanted to." And they're like, "Bro, you sound like a fucking idiot."
Yeah.
they're literally telling them like, "Dude, you sound fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you sound like somebody who wants to die."
Yeah, right.
And you keep talking the way you're talking and you're gonna die.
Yeah.
They were right. But, you know, even if it was unjust, is like the way that he was talking, he was gonna get himself killed eventually. You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like... Yeah, this is not the second time I've related a movie to Gems, but Uncut Gems, you know, we were watching Howard in that movie, and you're like, this guy's gotta die.
Yeah.
and it's even if it's not the people who kill him, it's somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, he's bound to die because of the way that his actions, the way that he acts. You know.
Yeah.
So. They're talking about having the gun in the bathroom, and he reveals that he had it in the hospital, and they're freaking out on him, basically, and he's basically being like, oh, fuck you guys, I'm hard.
Yeah.
And an old man flushes the toilet, comes out, and...
that completely, like, changed the pace.
Yeah.
But, like, it was, like, after he said his whole story, I was like, oh, shit, like, this just seems like a metaphor of, like, not take it too literally, but like pull your pants up, like try to be like a normal citizen. Like I know it's always like the cliche, like profiling thing, be like, oh, your pants are sagging, like, you know. But I mean, yeah, and then just like he didn't pull his pants up and he froze to death because he couldn't catch the train, and the train for them was making it out of basically the hood of France. Yeah, so I was...
I also think for that, it's like, this guy, this Grunwalski, is like, he has so much of an ego that he couldn't shit in front of somebody else. And it's like, so he had to hide who he really was, or like hide himself, you know? Hide who he really was. But he had to hide himself. And, you know, metaphorically, Vince is hiding himself by having that gun, by feeling like authoritarian for having a gun. His pride is getting the best of him. And it's more about, it's not ego, but pride. He's so prideful that he doesn't feel like he can, you know, do that in front of, like, even though they're all in the same situation, they're all prisoners, right?
Yeah.
But he's so prideful that he can't do that, you know? And... Vince holds that same kind of pride where it's like, if you don't let go of that, you're gonna be fucking toast.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I like interpreted that. But I thought that was a really good part of the movie. I thought that was like a really.
Now when I heard that, I kind of
that was their Oscar
scene, gonna happen.
You know.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But. What were you saying, actually? You said something before that.
Oh, yeah, like that scene, like, after they left, or the dude left, I was like, oh, some shit's bound to happen in the end of this movie. But still, even when it got to the end, I was just like, oh.
Yeah, not that.
Yeah.
That dude Asterisk G-checked Vince pretty hard.
He G-checked him?
Yeah, like he checked his gangster card.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the Coke dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he showed him what was up real quick.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you
It was
can't
pretty
blame him.
funny.
Like, I wouldn't do that shit.
Yeah.
Damn sleight of hand. Put the two things in. But there's a great point where you're talking about the cocaine dealer. I really like the transition as we go into like the city, more city-oriented district where it's like higher standard of living or like income. Um, they're just like so like fascinating. Like when they go into place, like it has the like the directory, and they're trying to call these people. Oh, it's so funny, and it's just like, damn, this shit's nice. And again, they're like, wow, this is a palace. Like, and it's sort of just like this coked out dealer with his butt ass naked with a gun living there. Like, we don't even know whose place that was. Like, you're just like, yeah, my buddy's place. He lets me stay here. But yeah, it's like damn, like for them, like to obtain that must be like a dream because like I said, it's a slice of life, and they're just so far away from it. So I like the transition from like them stealing shit in the market, the grocery store, to like being exposed to that. It's like
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, they did a really good job.
Yeah.
The director did a really good job melding those scenes together and writing them into one another. Mostly with like Yo Mama jokes, but it worked for me.
Yeah.
When the cops came, Ben slowed outside and hit her pretty quickly.
He did.
That was pretty surprising. I actually didn't expect him to do that, but
I, on the other hand, fully expected him. It's when he paused and he like, they're not there. I saw this man.
I don't know them.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
And did they not have like any ID? Like when he said, like I was wondering, like they asked for ID, but like couldn't he have just shown them ID? Like he wasn't like a wanted person, right? Like I don't know the life of late '90s France, but yeah.
Late 90s France immigration's policy.
yeah, right. ICE was gonna get him. He was here. But yeah, and then he ran away, and then it's like the movie really changed from there.
Yeah, then you really get into where the police brutality becomes more personal,
like the gut-wrenching scenes. Yeah.
That scene where they're beating them is like so hard
that was
to watch.
Brutal. Yeah.
And then the police trainee just looking like absolutely petrified.
I love the guy that casted. He had like piercings or something. He looked like just some indie dude who like is a barista and likes making espresso at home, and he's just studying like. It's like, okay, stop choking after a few seconds. Can't do it too much, because then they would,
I love that he was giving them like a play-by-play. It's like, oh, this is how you do this.
Yeah.
So, just so you know, what you want to do. You want to choke them just a little bit. You want to pop up for 1 second. You want to jab them right in the gut.
Yeah.
That'll get their blood flowing a little bit. They might want to talk. They don't still want to talk. You just pop the cloth right over their face. A little bit of water. They'll choke a little bit, but you just take the rag off. It'll be all right.
But yeah, I mean, for a movie so old, like they really portrayed police brutality, which is still like obviously prevalent, ongoing today. In such a hard watch.
Yeah,
hard
it was really brutal.
Yeah.
It was a torture scene in the last movie that I watched last week with Trevor.
Yeah.
Casino Royale. That scene where
where
they strip
Clooney?
him down. No, with Daniel Craig, where they strip him down.
Oh, James Bond. Yeah.
And he whips
hit his balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit was
That's brutal.
Brutal.
There's no way you had kids after that.
Oh,
probably why you got to get with so many women.
That's why he has no emotions.
Yeah.
That's why he's a psychopath.
Yeah.
He's probably a psychopath before that, but
True.
you know. I have written down. I have Vince's line where he says Hercules is the original gangster. I thought that was a good line. I got so many Yo Mama jokes.
Yeah.
And then my last note is poor all of these guys. You know, like
Yeah.
it's what a poor life.
Yeah.
Quite literally and metaphorically, and you know.
Yeah, exactly. And like, and that I guess we're talking about, Hubert and Said being in like under arrest or like whatever, under lockdown, and then Vince on the other hand was free the whole time.
Yeah,
like he was watching a box match with the dude he met and got him tickets.
right.
And it's like throughout the whole movie, they've been kind of suffering under his bullshit.
Yeah,
and
he feels all this entitlement, but he's not.
Yeah, right. Like the whole time, he doesn't really seem like he's worrying about his friends. He just like in the moment, and when they're at the, they go like out to the club, and then the dude gets pissed off, and he like shoots a dude. That was insane. I was like not expecting that. I was like, and then Vince is like holy shit, getting a hard on. Basically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he had to kill that guy. I remember that.
Yeah.
He was robbing the store, and Vince is like, "I am the man." And I mean, that's right. That's what happened, right?
Vince was he was watching.
No, that's right.
Vince was watching, and he was like, it was zoomed in, or it was a great shot. Like he was just like, he didn't look scared. He almost looked like, damn, like this is how powerful I am with this gun. And he carried that throughout the whole movie, like shit. Like no one can touch me, because like the whole thing is like, he's been angry that like people can boss around, like the cops kicking him off the rooftop and whatever. But now he has his gun. He's just like, he's big shit. And also it's funny. I like Hubert too, because like in the beginning scenes where he did have the gun and they were running away, like the SWAT team or police were chasing them, and Vince took out his gun, and then he was like, the cop was scared shit, and then he's like, oh, and then Hubert comes out and just knocks him the fuck out. And he was like, bro, you don't need a gun, just these hands can work much better, like, you know what I mean? Like he just, I don't know, it felt metaphoric for just like this gun isn't, you don't need it to like be a bigger person or try to be someone you're not, and like trying to act tough. Like you want to act tough, it needs to come within. And
I actually got that mixed up with the scene from Taxi Driver.
Oh really?
he buys a gun, and he's at his local grocery store, and he notices that it's getting, or his local corner store, and it's getting robbed, and he just walks up behind him and just bang, like murders the dude.
Oh man.
I mean, I don't know if you want to say rightfully, because the person robbing them was probably struggling, but defended his friend's store, so for the 70s it was probably considered rightfully.
Yeah, probably. Cashier probably or underthanked them.
Yeah. Oh no, that's exactly. He was like, "Thank you so much."
Yeah,
exactly what he said. But I mean, it's the same style of. I mean, that movie is obviously a direct, inspiration.
Inspiration, yeah.
So
definitely.
Really, and especially like for the Vince character.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Since we got like 7 more minutes, let's go ahead and do the themes. So that way we could just do the list.
Oh yeah.
For the third part before we get to the break. So for themes, I guess I'll just run through them and then we can just talk about it in general. Yeah. I got my themes. I have anarchy, capitalism and its faults, chaos and order, desire to escape, the evils of racism, police brutality, facing reality, individual versus society, manipulation, nationalism and its complications, totalitarianism, and working class struggles.
Covered all of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that does a pretty good job of nailing everything that this movie talks about. Yeah, I can't really iterate how much this movie makes capitalism look bad, and I appreciate it. It's good. More movies should do that.
Yeah.
I was watching James Bond last week, and I was just like, God damn, this is devoid of, like, any type of thought or realism. I don't know if you watched the episode, but that movie got, like, the lowest rating.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of the Daniel Craig's movies, James Bond?
Oh, no. Out of all the F and F's. Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's the lowest movie rated on the list, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Our in-house list. But yeah, I don't know. We didn't enjoy that movie. We both were like, we were kind of shitting on it a little bit.
Yeah. I know.
But yeah, no. Anyway, to get back to the themes,
Yeah.
I feel like Vince is like a full-on anarchist. None of their motives are like defined, in the movie. It's like, I am an anarchist. They don't have to really talk. They kind of just show you who they are.
Yeah.
I feel like, obviously, Hubert doesn't like the way the police are, but, I don't think he really has a problem with, like, the government. I don't think he's probably apolitical.
I think so, too.
Saeed more seems like he, like, follows politics and is like, oh, we can probably do something about this or make a change.
Yeah.
But he also seems like, he's like, but anarchy could also work.
Yeah.
Whereas Vince is like, we have to destroy everything.
Yeah, right. You get the Glock out and start shooting, basically.
See, the difference between me and you is somebody pulls up on you with a Glock and pulls you out of your car and says, give me your car. You say, okay, just don't hurt me. What I do is I pull out the Glock, put it on their forehead, splatter the brains all over the concrete.
Yeah, basically.
Shout out Arn Anderson. Sorry, I love wrestling. But, it was really cool how they split them up in that way politically, but without having to sit there and be like, I believe anarchy is the way to do it. And like I don't need exposition to tell me that this guy's an anarchist. You can show me that he's an anarchist. Yeah. That's an easy thing to show. Yeah. And the whole thing looming with, it's like him thinking that Vince had something to do with his gym. And then it's still the fact that he's like willing to murder a police officer, rightfully, or unrightfully, depending on who you are. When he's going to kill the cop right at the precipice of like the climax at the end of the movie. Right as he's like holding up that gun, it's like he's also questioning, like, I'm sure while he's holding that gun, he's like, damn, did I really just put a gun up because, like, for Vince? Yeah, right. But yeah, it's just such an unfortunate character. He doesn't deserve it. He just doesn't deserve it. But police brutality is a super big theme in this movie. All the plainclothes cops are just a real thing. That were a part of society for such a long time, especially in France. That's scary as hell to me. Yeah.
Because like the coffee shop Vince uses in plain clothes. Yeah. I thought it was like one of the skinheads from before in the alley scene. I thought I should have found him. I was like, that's a cop, and he just killed him.
Yep. I thought the same thing. Yeah. Just horrid stupidity all over, from both sides. Yeah. On this one. Yeah. But the thing is like, Vince is the only one that was really being stupid. Yeah. And again, Saeed and Hubert have to pay for Vince's stupidity. His ego and his pride and his all of that. Yeah. are like a driving force behind why these guys' lives are now like kind of deteriorating. Yeah. So I thought this movie was like really, really good with, how it did that.
That's what made the ending like more shell shock for me. It's because he kind of changed his whole character at the end when Hubert was talking to him, and in the alley scene, he like pointing the gun at someone's head. And he couldn't pull the trigger. Yeah.
It was kind of the same kind of like shock type of end, like like Uncut Gems have, where it's like you're just like, oh my fucking god.
Yeah, no, honestly, yeah.
But I love the realism in it though, because it's like that's how quick it is for people to die. That's how quick shit happens. It's just like, oh, pop, you're done. Yeah. It's not this whole long convoluted bullshit of like, I was gonna kill you all along because. And they explain their convoluted plan, like, while they're about to shoot. It's like, bro, no, it's just bang. And then it's like, you talk to your friend about why you killed that person. Mm-hmm. Like, that's reality.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not speaking from experience.
But yeah, that ending was so good. Uncut Gems is like the top, like, for that type of ending. But La Haine is like, not many movies just have that just like, out of nowhere.
What?
Yeah.
Your movie's done. Sorry. Bye.
Yeah, right.
You're like, what? The climax just happened. But I like a movie that doesn't overstay its welcome. I don't think there's anything else you could have done in an epilogue or... Because there's nothing to say. You know what I mean? And I don't need to know who won the gunfight between Hubert and the cop. That's unnecessary, too. And so I thought it was great. A choice by the writer-director, and he obviously had a very clear vision for this movie, and probably had a pretty strict budget to the point where he couldn't do an epilogue like that.
Yeah, so, right.
You know, that's probably a whole other thing. But we are going to transition now into another break. When we come back, I'm going to have up the list. I'm hoping that when I say that this time, that the list is actually going to be up. But... the list will be up now when you guys come back, and we will be getting out of here in like 5 minutes or something like that. So stick with it, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to part 3 of the episode 12 of the Finding New Films podcast. We're here now with the list. I actually have it up this time, you guys. This is incredible. I'm doing great. So, who do we want to go first? We're going to give this movie a rating now, and we're going to put it on our list with our other movies that we've watched before it.
Yeah.
So, if you want to see those podcasts, go watch them. They're on the channel. Or on any podcasting platforms that you may listen to.
Yeah.
But do you want to go ahead and give your ratings you picked?
Yeah. I honestly, we doing 0.10th increments or?
You can do. I've been
0.5?
doing tenths. I mean, I have a 0.75.
True.
Yeah.
I would give it a 9.2. Okay. Honestly, I just thought it was such a concise, stylized, and I feel like it set out everything I was trying to do. And there was not many complaints in terms of script, acting, shots.
Gotcha. I got the wrong movie up here, but 9.2 is really good. It was a really good movie.
Yeah.
I gave it an 8.25. So this is gonna have an odd.
I need the calculator for this.
Have an odd one. It's gonna be 17.45. It's gonna be the official ratings. It's gonna come in actually number 3 or 4,
just
rather.
below Taxi Driver.
Number 4, right?
It's poetic justice.
You reference a movie and you are not as good as that movie. Automatically. Which stands true with Ad Astra and Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
So, so that's pretty funny. It does not stand true with Pearl and Psycho, though.
Oh, no.
But, I digress. So, 17.45, number 4 on the list out of 12 or line. I don't know that much about French, but do you know why this movie is not L apostrophe H-A? Because I thought...
I don't know, maybe probably because, like, just title-wise, you want to, like, spell it all out.
I thought that was interesting. I was like, I
Yeah.
thought that's how French worked. I took French class, and I thought that's how French worked, but I guess not. Yeah, that's all we really needed to do.
Apocalypse Now, still at number one.
Still at number one, Apocalypse
Yeah.
Now. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
The list looks good. I think everything is deserving of where it is. Maybe Gone Girl got snubbed a little bit.
Snubbed, yeah.
But anyway, that was the list section, the list portion of the episode, and now we're done. Now it's time for us to sign off. I'll start. Actually, no. You can. Anything you need to say on the way out? Anything you want to sign off?
Just thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our 2 cents on Len. Because it was a unique movie and it's a good watch. And I'm just glad to have my voice back. Be able to share it with y'all.
I'm glad you could share it with us too, man. Thanks for doing this.
Always a fun time.
It is. The hour always seems to fly by.
Yeah.
But yeah, follow us on Instagram. The link will be in the description below. For both in Spotify and most of the podcasting platforms, it'll be in like the main description menu, and then on the YouTube video, it'll be in the video's description. But you can find us on any podcasting platform if you don't want to look at our faces. But if you do, thank you, and we appreciate you. This honestly isn't even a set. Like, this is not a setup. This is just like the way that the downstairs looked in our house, and so we just did this. And
looks good.
It just kind of just worked out. But anyways, thanks for watching, you guys. We've found Haine. Next week, I'm gonna have Zack D on. Not to be mistaken with Zach that was on for Ad Astra. Zack C. Zack D will be on.
And Zack D with a K.
Zack with a K, and then D last name.
Zack with an H with a C.
Yeah.
Is it too late to do the HelloFresh sponsorship?
It'll be in the middle when we do the breaks. Okay. Yeah. When we do I'll record it after you leave, but it'll be in between the breaks. Yeah. You'll still get the royalties and everything.
Okay,
you don't have to be in it.
Yeah.
That's what we do it for, baby. It's all for money. I fucking wish. No. But yeah, thanks guys for coming through. Zach will be coming through. Zack D. Zach with a K with a D. Will be coming through.
Replacing Zach with an H with a C.
As my roommate. Not just on the podcast, but he's moving in to Zach's room. He's actually taking all of Zach's belongings as well.
He is, yeah. Zach with a K is superior.
Yeah, we're gonna kill Zach with an H with a C. But nevertheless, it has nothing to do with you guys. He'll be on next week, and we will be reviewing. I'm blanking on the director's name. Julie Dash's Daughters of the Dust, which looks really cool. I haven't watched it yet. I'm probably gonna watch it either like as soon as we get done filming this or tomorrow morning because I will have to. So that's fun. Anyways, thanks guys for coming through. I appreciate anybody who listened or watched. You guys are very special people, and you deserve love in your life.
Yes.
Happy late St. Patrick's Day. Maybe I should have done that last week.
Oh,
But anyway.
it's a thought that counts.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody.
Positive affirmations and vibes. Thank you.
Fuck you.
Have a shit day.